Hey, I'm Karai. Like some Viktor content, some middling content? Consider subscribing, maybe even hitting that like button. It'll help me up a lot. And if you do, you'll get blue buff. Viktor Challenger. The only rule, I can only play Viktor. Unless it's banned, then we're playing Orianna. No Viktor jungle, no Viktor support, maybe Viktor Bot Lane, and that's about it.
Hello friends, welcome back to another Viktor 2 Challenger gameplay. Today I have an exciting game for you. This is probably one of the best games I've played. This game is a bit long and I'm not sure how this video is going to be going. It is going to be a long video. I'm not sure if you guys are into that. Let me know in the comments whether you like a longer type, more detailed video or a shorter highlight focused video. In the case of a longer video, I will be breaking down into parts such as laning phase, the mid game, late game, and team fights, so that you guys have more digestible content rather than just throwing every piece of information in your face. So without further ado, this is the laning phase. As you can see here, I am playing against a Sylas. I believe the Viktor-Sylas matchup isn't too bad for Viktor, but it's not the best. You can see I'm already making a few early mistakes letting the Sylas E into me. Ideally, I do want to be wiggling around my minions, so in the case where he does try to E onto me and miss, I can trade better. But nevertheless, if he does connect the chains onto me, as long as I trade back with my Q1 and Q2 and also some autos, it won't be too bad for me. However, in this case, you can already see that I'm burning early pots here, and the reason being so is because I'm afraid of the Rammus having a tree camp gank onto me. Rammus is famously known for having early ganks in order to make the pick work, so I'm being really cautious here in order to not push in the lane as I usually do against mages. In the case against things like Sylas, where they often look to trade against you, I try not to push in the wave, but rather try to stack up a big wave or try to keep the wave in neutral, which is the middle of the lane. So with that being said, the game plan for this laning phase is definitely just to maintain a even lane. If not, I should be looking to stack up a big wave and let it bounce back. In addition to that, I should be paying attention to Rammus. Notice how Lee Sin is already at red buff. This indicates that Rammus is probably just finished or has already been looking for a gank. So we have to be extra careful here not to be ganked by Rammus. As I say that, Rammus appears in bot side. This gives me the indication that I'm able to play slightly more aggressive with the health advantage I have. Even though that Sylas has an additional health pot than me, I'm able to maintain the wave without being too scared of a Rammus ganking me. Notice how Rammus is going into the bot side river. This tells me two things. One, he is doing bot side scuttle, and two, he started top side to bot side, which means that on his next clear I should be wary of him ganking from top side here. Here you can see I'm trying to set up a freeze, but it's not going too well. I think I messed up the wave a bit, and at this point I notice that the wave will be pushing according to the even minion rule. So I'm not sure how I should be approaching this at this point. I do ping missing. Sylas might be going for a cheeky roam here, but he didn't do that and he's still in lane, which allows me to slowly push in this wave. Again, it's not too bad that I'm pushing in the wave. I'm just worried that Sylas might call for Rammus and gank me when I'm pushing in the wave. I try to ping for my Lee Sin to E the wave as it allows me to push faster. He didn't do that. In hindsight, I didn't think it was a bad idea as long as I have wards and vision of where I think the Rammus might be coming from. Again, remember, Rammus started from top to bot, which means that this ward up top will allow me to see if Rammus is ganking from top side. You can also see the reason why I'm hugging top side is because I know Lee Sin is around top side, and that's why I'm hugging towards top side. After pushing this wave here, my thought process was that maybe I should base, come back to lane, even though I don't have lost chapter. This is a good base. But after seeing where Rammus is again, I opted to look for a fake recall instead and see what would Sylas be doing, whether he would be slow pushing or trying to hard shove the wave. And I believe in this case, he does try to blow his entire cooldowns just to hard shove the wave. After seeing this, I knew that I was safe to come up to try to tin out the wave. In this case, this is looking like a freezing opportunity for my side. I can definitely hold these 3 minions under my turret. You can see I'm trying to drag it towards the top side of the bush here, just so my minions are able to hold them just right in front of the turret. So I was worried that Sylas might have a ward here, that's why I went back here. Sylas just tried to wall in me, But the cleanses cleanse the ignite here. Some of you might be saying, why would you take cleanse into a Silas? Not so much for the Silas here, rather it's for the Rammus. I can't really dodge a on-click Rammus taunt, so that's why I opted for the cleanse here. In addition, in the case where Silas had taken TP, then obviously cleanse would have been less useful than me, but in this case he did take ignite, so there's also the option of cleansing the ignite here. You can see that I'm kind of in a pickle here. I'm kind of low on health and not that much on mana, but remember, looking at Silas's mana pool, we know that Silas probably can't do an entire combo, especially not after using that Q there. So I'm not too afraid of walking up slightly, although I am afraid of Rammus just trying to run into me and trying to tower dive me. It won't be too hard. But I'm trying to see what Silas is trying to do here, whether he wants to push in the wave or just base. I figured that he would be pushing in the wave as he doesn't want a freeze to occur, and he is looking for a base really desperately. That's why I was hoping that he would probably just use my ult to push in the wave, and because he did, I am in a fine spot to just let the wave come back into neutral while basing here. We're going to speed up the clip here because I'm just basing, not much is going on. Of course, we're going for a lost chapter here. I think Silas would probably be going for a lost chapter here, but apparently he doesn't have enough for an entire lost chapter. That's why CSing is really important here. It really makes a difference between getting a lost chapter or getting just 2 amp tomes and a mana crystal. You can see that I'm really outing here because I figured Silas is probably looking at the little skirmish down in bot lane. As Viktor, you don't really want to go for skirmishes, especially into things such as Rammus and Silas, where they excel in little skirmishes such as these. So instead of trying to follow them, I opted to take platings instead. Here you can see that I'm trying to push in the next wave, but looking back, I don't think I should have been able to push the next wave anyways. Instead, I probably should have just let it push back rather than trying to hard up this. You can see that Rammus is probably going to Drake here, but in addition to that, you can also see that top lane is missing. I suspect that top lane is probably looking for me, and lo and behold, I was right. All I have to do here is really just to dodge the ult here. Yone tries to do a cheeky play by trying to remove the blast plant in order to deny my jump over the wall, but in doing so he also bounced himself back, which allows me to get away safely. I'm spinning things up here because nothing's much happening. I used my W on top of myself in the case where Silas does try to go on top of me. Not much is happening here. I tried to ping my Jax on playing safer as I knew that Silas is probably going topside if Rammus is not doing Drake. Lo and behold, he dies here. Again, you can see the game is not really going well here. It is, I believe, 1 to 8 here against when I have a Lucian Nami that should be quote-unquote winning bot lane. But because they're not winning, this is going to be a really hard game. Silas tries to do a cheeky engage on me. He misses. Here, I did not see the Rammus even though I have a ward on top side. I've checked the replay. Apparently, that ward doesn't actually cover the little corner of the center bush there. But nevertheless, Nami comes around and we get the kill on Rammus here. Pretty good. You can see that Silas is low on health. Not so high on mana as well. He even loses the Jax ult. I think I got slightly impatient here. Had I landed that E there, I definitely could have pressured much more. You can see that I'm trying to ping for help here as I want to punish Silas for staying this low. But I don't think anyone came to mid. I believe if I actually landed a couple more E's on the Silas, I definitely could have pressured him a bit more, but I missed 2 E's in a row. But now the more important thing is think of what Silas is thinking. If I was a Silas, what would I be thinking? And lo and below, I would be pinging for my jungler to come to me as well, as I want to punish Viktor for being so aggressive. But luckily, I still have my flash up. I'm able to dodge the gank successfully. Here, Lee Sin puts the Herald to take the mid turret down. Unfortunately, bot lane couldn't hold enough for us to take the first turret. Even though I am pretty strong, I am really worried that their bot lane is much stronger. But nevertheless, we shouldn't worry about that and try to focus on the mid game now. Here in the mid game, you can see I'm doing my classic Viktor thing when I'm trying to be on a side lane to scale even harder. Although I think that this game I probably should have been mid, as I'm able to rotate much easier to fights because I'm stronger. It turned out pretty well until Rammus came to mid to kill my entire bot lane again. I tried to rotate slightly faster than Silas, but there was no way I was getting that Jhin unless I would be willing to burn flash, which I'm not. Again, my ideology of flash on Viktor is that you should use it for more defensive purposes rather than more offensive purposes. Here, Jax gets onto the Sylas. Jax is feeling really confident here, so I noticed that most of their abilities on the enemy team has been used. That's why I'm willing to go up to engage. You can see a perfect line E here. I definitely could have flashed onto the Jhin here, but I wasn't sure if Jhin had flash, and I figured that it's probably much more worth it for me to save flash for guaranteed kills instead of 50-50s where I'm not sure whether the enemy has X-sums or X-spell. So moving on to a bit further into the game, it's 8-18 here, not in our favor obviously. You can see that my team is obviously tilted, people are pinging around. You can even see that my bot lane is 0-12. Not the best look for Nami Lucian, even though they're supposed to be really strong as a duo, but nevertheless, as Viktor, we should just be looking to farm as much as we can and get our items as fast as we can. Here I get a cheeky little catch onto the Yone here, cleanse the exhaust, put the gravity field on top of myself, and flash Yone's ult just to get a really little clean kill onto him. Every little kill counts. I believe that was a pretty close fight. Had I had base for a needlessly large rot, it definitely would have been better. But you know, we take everything we can in these kind of games. Here, a no fight in the mid game. Jax jumps in onto a Sylas who has stopwatch, gets baited, dies. Again, guys, like it's 9-21. It's not looking really good for us. But the worst thing we can be doing here is panicking and looking for a forceful engage as Viktor. Remember, as Viktor, you can stall games as long as you want. That's why you see me. I'm not really looking forward to forcing engages. Jhin tries to ult in front of my face. I take that as a major disrespect and try to one-shot him. And he flashes. So now that I know that he has no flash, I can definitely tap him in the next fight. We got a little cheeky kill on Rammus here. I'm not sure what Rammus is doing on the side lanes, especially after Jhin has slash. But now it's looking not too bad for us as long as we don't make any mistakes as Viktor right now. So right now it's 24 minutes, but I like to think this is kind of the transition into the late game. You can see that I already have 3 items. Lucian does get caught by the Sylas here, but Sylas doesn't have enough burst damage to pop the Lucian here. I believe we get the kill onto the Sylas here. A really great kick on the Lee Sin to kick Rammus into the Sylas, knocking him up, preventing him from zone-using. You can see Dragon is up. Our team is trying to converse into Dragon. We have denied vision. Jhin opens out onto our team here, but little does he know we have the denied vision and we have the positioning to engage back onto them. I get a few kills here. Lee Sin is already marked onto the Jhin. Jhin dies here. Jhin gives away a 1000 gold shutdown, and suddenly we win the team fight. At this point, we know that the game is really winnable for us after the fact that we're able to just take Baron just like that. I'm fast forwarding here a bit, and basically what happened is we take Drake here. We look to take Baron and Drake is what I meant to say. We see Sylas here, not sure what he's trying to do here. We've taken the Drake here, but Sylas does try to engage onto us. Again, great kick to CC the Sylas to prevent him to going to Zhonya's. We get another cheeky kill onto the Sylas. At this point, we're looking really strong. Suddenly, it's 16-21. I'm 7-0. I'm very near my Rabadons. And again, Sylas does makes these little mistakes by being too eager into looking to fights. Remember, guys, even though Sylas is one of those champions where you want to look for fights, you can't just randomly go into every fight. And on the opposite spectrum, as Viktor, you want to be picking on the enemy's mistakes by punishing them, putting your gravity field on top of them. Not much is going on here aside from the obvious fact that we're pushing for the bot side inhibitor or the bot side turret here. You can see that I'm trying to position myself really carefully, even though like I'm right in front of Rammus here. The reason why I'm not too afraid is because I have cleanse and I have flash. I'm not too worried. Here I see that the enemy has already used their knockup and I did manage to dodge the Yone out here. That's why I'm feeling really broke to walk up. You can see my team has taken damage aside from me. I'm feeling really confident in this push here. That's why I'm not too afraid in walking up. Remember, guys, I am 3 items with 2 large rods right now. That's why I can be slightly more aggressive in making these kind of positional plays here. Here I get my Rabadons. At this point, I know the game is pretty much over. Just take a look at this damage here. I almost one-shot the Sylas. How crazy is that? with just these items. So don't think that Viktor has no item. Here, I was surprised that maybe they have wards division there, but I checked the replay and they don't. My team gets a bush rookie onto the sides. Again, Silas making these mistakes by phase checking, thinking that maybe he could tank the engage with Zanyas. Please don't do that if you're not a full tank. You want to be looking picks with Silas, not looking into picks. Here, again, Jin makes the mistakes of ulting into my team. I just flash and one-shot him. Here, it kind of got close. Yone tries to one-tap me, but, you know, little does he know, I already have my Exodia items. 1Q just completely eviscerates him. I get the Quadra here, really amazing for me. I was hoping that Zyra might give me the Penta, but I was not lucky. And instead, I just opt to take this turret. And look at that turret damage with Lichbane. I am basically three-shotting this thing right now. Remember guys, this was a game that was looking really hopeless. My bot lane was getting destroyed. My teammates were arguing. And nothing was really going well for me. I wasn't getting kills in mid lane. In fact, Silas was getting kills. Silas was roaming. But again, we are Viktor, right? Like, we're not trying to rush into games. We're not trying to rush a win. We're trying to play it slow, play it to scale with our team. I get Zanyas here because that's my get out of jail free card here in case I do get hit by a skill shot. But again, like, this is one of the last couple of fights where it's going on. Rammus tries to go on to engage here, but fails. I have my gravity field. We grab the gravity field here. I get caught by Zyra's E, but again, because I have my get out of jail free card, I'm able to dodge damage successfully. I'm not really looking to rush into fights because my Lee Sin is dead because he got caught out earlier. So we're not really looking to run into an enemy team, even though I have 4 items, even though I'm really strong. I also changed my Ludens into Iliandries because at this point of the game, I'm not really going to one-tap any of their tanky members, and because people naturally have more health since the durability patch, it's just much better for me to get the Liandries rather than stay with the Ludens here. Here, I noticed that the enemy has already base, so I opted to say, hey, why not just rush the Baron, see what happens here. I noticed that the Rammus is running into the Baron pit, so I tried to ping my team to stop hitting the damn Baron, but you know, my team doesn't listen, and you know, the Rammus easily steals the Baron here. It's not a big deal. Obviously, we're upset here, but you know, it happens. These kind of things happen. But with Rammus's death, this basically secures our Drake Soul. So guys, remember, like, even though the enemy steals Baron, Dragon, Soul, whatever, the first thing you should think to yourselves, okay, what's the good things? What are the things that we can do about this, right? Like, we shouldn't worry about things that already happened because it really provides no usefulness to the team. Rather, we should be focusing on, okay, hey, Rammus died here. Dragon is coming up. This is our soul. We can definitely take this for free here as long as we don't int ourselves here. So that's what we did here. Remember, there's no point in panicking or tilting because if anything, that's only gonna make you play worse. So right now, again, look at our items. Look at our levels, right? We are definitely the highest level in the team. We are definitely the richest person on the team with the most items. The last thing I want to do is give the enemy an opportunity to kill me and give a big shutdown and take me out of the game for a minute. So I'm trying to, even though I'm trying to be more aggressive, I'm paying attention to where the enemy is and trying to play according to what I know. So right here again, we take the Wind Drake Soul or the Cloud Drake Soul. It's not the best soul, but I think on Viktor it's not bad. Here I tell my team to reset. The reason I think Cloud Soul is not bad, I think Viktor, even though he has no dashes, having additional insane movement speed is really good on Viktor here. So it's not the worst Drake to have, but I definitely would prefer Mountain or Inferno Soul here. Here, I try to tell my team to push up top together, but I forgot that the enemy had Baron, so it's really hard for us to really just ignore the enemy mid push. You can see I'm really trying to push up this wave here, try to go along with my Jax here, but I see that the enemy is grouped up in mid. That's why I opted to say, hey, okay, you know what? I can't really ignore the enemy mid, so I'm just going to go to mid to see what happens here. Maybe the enemy will try to go for a sneaky engage here. Lucian does random out here. Lucian's ult really doesn't do much to minions. So I'm not sure what they're doing here. You can see that the enemy is basing one by one, but we are able to cut out some of them. I think Jack takes notes of this and tries to cut them off by having a cheeky engager. Nami ults for the movement speed for our team. Not sure if that's a good move. I think it's not bad. I dodged multiple skill shots here. Land the ult here. Beautiful kick from Lee Sin and a bubble into Nami. Dodge to the Yone ult as well. And I get hit by the chains here, but again, my get out of free card basically allows me to stay alive here and stay relatively healthy. And just like that, we win the team fight. I think, yeah, it's a clean team fight, clean sweep to us. You can see, I wish you guys were in the live game with me. I was really excited. I was 14-0 in this grim looking game. I was trying really hard not to lose. I got really excited, and I'm just glad we won this game. This was a really hard game, really great game that I played by me. I think I made several mistakes, but I think the good things that I did ultimately led me to this victory. You can see I added insult to injury by typing mid gap. Let me know what you guys think about this type of video where it's slightly longer. I hope you guys are able to learn something here, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.